So Facebook is at it again with one of their quote unquote standard enhancements that is in fact a really bad idea, and you should be turning it off. Otherwise, your ads are going to end up looking very weird. So be sure to stay tuned until the very end so that you know which enhancement this is, where you can find it, and how you can turn it off. What's up, everybody? Alvaro here from Alvaro Barrios Digital, and I'm coming at you today sitting down. Normally I'm standing up for these videos, but there's something wrong with my standing desk right now. It's a little bit broken, so different vibe for this video, but nonetheless, just as important. Like I said, this is something you want to pay attention to because there's a new standard enhancement that was rolled out very recently. It's not in all accounts right now, but it is in many, and it will eventually be in all the accounts, and it's auto-selected, right? So that's the huge issue, right? It wouldn't be that big of an issue if Facebook made it optional and you could select it or not, but as of right now it's auto enabled. And so as you're creating your campaign you put together, you're doing a great work in terms of your copy, your creative, and then you launch your ad, and then all of a sudden you see your ad in the wild and you're like, what is going on? That is not how I created my ad. Why does it look like that? Well, that's exactly how I actually discovered this enhancement. And so what this is called, it's called standard enhancements, and it's Facebook's way of quote unquote making your ad more optimal per person. And so what they actually do is that they put this at the ad level. So if you're putting together your ad, everything else looks the same, looks normal, right? You got your name, you can choose single image or carousel, video, whatever it might be. But then kind of, hidden, so to speak, right above where you start putting in your primary text and your headline, there's a little checkbox that says standard enhancements. And if you actually start reading that, it says, we will apply a basic set of enhancement to optimize your ad and creative and improve performance. So reading that, like, oh, great, thank you, Facebook. That sounds really fantastic. But if you dig a little bit deeper, it is actually very not ideal. So let's see what they actually have to say about it. So when you click on learn more, you can see these parts. It says, okay, add an image or video and a variety of text options. Choose the creative optimizations you like for us to apply, and we'll create different variations of your ad with your creative and the optimizations you choose. Based on our data, we'll show each person the variation of your ad most likely to improve your data. So right off the bat, that sounds a lot like dynamic creative, doesn't it? Right? You're supplying all these different copy variations and text variations, and then Facebook is going to just insert them in and out, right? It'll be copy 1 and image 2, or copy 3 and video 1, things like that, right? Which is totally fine. I've talked about dynamic creative in some of my previous videos, and in certain cases, I do think that this is an ideal setup. But even though this one sounds kind of like dynamic creative, there's something that they don't actually tell you until later on in these slides. So if we keep on going further right here is the kicker right here. So it says, to improve performance, text you provide may appear as primary text, headline, or description. Text edited for specific ad placements will not be swapped out with text outside of that placement. What? Like, that is just insane. So if you're not following what they're saying there, they're saying that they will sometimes grab the text that you're using for your headline and put it into the primary text, and then grab the primary text and put that into the headline. So think about how crazy that is, because your headline is something usually very short, and then your ad copy, is something that's longer. I would say at least a minimum of 150 words, if not more. And so you're only gonna see, 10% of that inside the headline of your primary text, if that's actually in the headline section, and then your body copy is just gonna be this short little snippet, and it's gonna make no sense. And then this is exactly how I discovered this. I created a campaign for my client. I didn't notice that this enhancement was turned on, and all of a sudden I got hit in my newsfeed with their ad, and the headline was in the primary copy, and then the primary copy was in the headline. And I was like, what? I must have messed up. How did this happen? But then I realized that there was this standard enhancements feature that was doing that, and it just made it look really crazy. So let's do a little bit of a deeper dive on see what else they're doing here. So media enhancements, we'll make adjustments to your image or video based on what people are seeing, and you will respond best to in terms of your ad. So you can see right here in their example, right? Let's say you have an orange image, and then they can just turn that into a gray image or something like that, which again, I don't think that's 100% ideal, but previously they would make adjustments on on brightness. So they would maybe brighten the color of your image or lessen the brightness depending if it was time of day. You know, if something's looking at their phone at midnight, it's darker, so they're gonna lessen the brightness of the image and stuff like that. That type of stuff is fine. But here they're actually just completely changing the colors. And so what if you have very specific brand colors that also need to match well with your landing page? Something that's very important. I've talked about, you know, you need to have congruence between your image and your landing page as well, but this can completely throw that off. Ad level composition changes will make adjustments to the display and arrangement of components within or around your ad on what the people seeing your ad will best respond to. This can include adding labels or displaying relevant Facebook comments. So the relevant Facebook comments part, that part that doesn't bother me. I actually think that is a good thing. If someone has something very good to say about your ad or your product or your service, sure, I'm happy with them to put that up to the top. But adding the labels, again, you know, I don't feel comfortable Facebook just automatically doing that. I like to have as much control over my messaging as possible. So again, I don't really like this idea. So in order to avoid this, when you're putting together your ad copy, make sure you uncheck the box where it says standard enhancements. And as you click that, it's just one little click and then boom, you're done. You don't have to worry about this entire scenario right there, and then your ad will be the same as it always has been in the past. You know, I think I'm not really sure what the motivation was for this. We already have dynamic creative, and now they're doing this weird thing where they're completely altering the appearance of your ad. I don't know anyone who was asking for that, and I can't really see a good use case for it, even though it's quote unquote based on data and it's gonna quote unquote enhance your performance. I just don't see how it's possible. So definitely turn that off, and that way you can avoid this issue and continue to get the good results you were already getting before. So hopefully you found this helpful and you can avoid this pitfall. If you have any questions about standard enhancements, as always, just let me know in the comments. And if there's anything you want me to cover in the future, also let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do that and cater content directly towards your various needs. So that's all I got for you today. Here's 2 more videos for you to check out. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.